Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandot pranams to all. We welcome all of you for the today's morning program, Nityam Bhagavatha Sevaya. And today we are very fortunate, we have His Grace Sachitanaya Gaura Prabhu, and he will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 2nd chapter, verse 2. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Dandot pranams to all. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vastyatadeshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. नाम संकीर्तन की जाए। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन, यशोदनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन, यमुना तीरावनचारी, यमुना तीरावनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया, भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी। Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, chapter 2, shloka 2. Sacha kadachit pitloka kamaha suravara vanita krida chaladronyam bhagavantam vishwasrujam patimabrita परिचर्योपकरण आत्मैकाग्र्येण tapasvyaradhayam bahuva. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Desiring to get a perfect son and become an inhabitant of Pitaloka, Maharaja Agnidhara once worshipped Lord Brahma, the master of those in charge of material creation. He went to a valley of Mandara hill where the damsels of the heavenly planets come down to stroll. There he collected garden flowers and the necessary paraphernalia and then engaged in severe austerities and worship. Purport. The king became Pitlokakama or desirous of being transferred to the planet named Pitloka. Pitloka is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Yanti Deva Vrata Devan Pratan Yanti Prativrataha. To go to this planet, one needs very good sons who can make offerings to Lord Vishnu and then offer the remnants to their forefathers. The purpose of the Shraddha ceremony is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, so that after pleasing him, one may offer prasada to one's forefathers and in this way make them happy. The inhabitants of Pitaloka are generally men of the Karmakandya or fruitive activities category who have been transferred there because of their pious activities. They can stay there as long as their descendants offer them Vishnu Prasada. Everyone in the heavenly planets, such as Pitaloka, however, must return to earth after exhausting the effects of his pious acts. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.21, Punye Mrityulokam Vishanti. Persons who perform pious acts are transferred to higher planets, but when the effects of their pious acts are over, they are again transferred to earth. Since Maharaja Priyavrata was a great devotee, how could he have begotten a son who decided to be transferred to Pitruloka? Lord Krishna says, Pitranyanti Prativrataha. Persons who desire to go to Pitruloka are transferred there. Similarly, Yanti Madhyajino Pimam. Persons who desire to be transferred to the spiritual planets, Vaikuntha Lokas, can also go there. Since Maharaja Agnidhara was the son of Vaishnava, he should have decided to be transferred to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha Loka. Why then did he decide to be transferred to Pitaloka? In answer to this, Goswami Giridhara, one of the Bhagavatam commentators, remarks that Agnidhara was born when Maharaja Pradevata was infatuated by lusty desires. This may be accepted as a fact because sons are begotten with different mentalities according to the time of their conception. According to Vedic system, therefore, before a child is conceived, the Garbhadana Samskara is performed. This ceremony molds the mentality of the father in such a way that when he plants his seeds in the womb of his wife, he will beget a child whose mind will be completely saturated with devotional attitude. At the present moment, however, there are no such Garbhadana Sanskars, and therefore people generally have lusty attitude when they beget children, especially in this age of Kali. There are no Garbhadana ceremonies. Everyone enjoys sex with his wife like a cat or dog. Therefore, according to Shastric injunctions, almost all the people of this age belong to the Shudra category. Of course, although Maharaja Agnidhara had desired to be transferred to Pitaloka, this does not mean that his mentality was that of a Shudra. He was a Kshatriya. Maharaja Agnidhara decided to be transferred to Pitaloka and therefore he needed a wife because anyone desiring to be transferred to Pitaloka must leave behind a good son to offer yearly pinda or prasada from the Lord Vishnu. To have a good son, Maharaja Agnidhara wanted a wife from a family of demigods. Therefore, he went to Mandara hill where the women of the demigods generally come to worship Lord Brahma. In Bhagavad Gita 4.12, it is said, Kankshataha karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devataha. Materialists who want quick results in the material world worship demigods. This is also confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Shri Aishwarya Praje Savaha. Those who desire beautiful wives, substantial wealth, and many sons worship the demigods, but an intelligent devotee, instead of being entangled by the happiness of this material world, in the form of beautiful wife, material opulence, and children, desire to be immediately transferred back home, back to Godhead. Thus, he worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। Hare Krishna, welcome to today's Bhagavatam session. So here we are discussing about Maharaja Priyavrata's pastimes. Now, after Maharaja Priyavrata's pastimes, we are talking about his the first son of Maharaja Priyavrata, Agnidhara. So Maharaja Agnidhara here, it is said that his objective was to reach the Pitraloka. Unlike his father, who was desiring to be in Vaikuntha, Agnidhara is desiring for Pitraloka. So Prabhupada mentions here that Yanti Deva Vrata Devan Pritrin Yantri Pritivrataha. So it is a science. It is those who want to reach the higher planetary systems, they have to according to their desires, they are transferred to that planetary system. So this knowledge about this planetary system, higher planetary system, and the knowledge about Vaikuntha is very important. This comparison one should know what is permanent, what is non-permanent, and unless one knows, it is very difficult for one to aspire. And in today's world, people are not aware of these. They don't believe. They only believe in their work and immediate enjoyment and having some immediate results. Though they may not believe in the higher planetary systems, they still worship. They still follow their immediate, managers or their heroes, like that. They follow somebody or the other, but they don't have a proper knowledge of these higher planetary systems, and at least in those who are following the Vedic systems, or those who were in the olden days, they were believing in the Shastras. They were able to understand that there are higher planetary systems, and they do pious activities to reach the planetary systems. And based on their pious activities, based on their consciousness, their path was being destined, and they were able to reach that planetary system. So here, usually, a son of a devotee, maybe he is expected that he would also follow his father's path, and he will also take to devotional service. But here Prabhupada also mentions here at the in the later paragraphs that Priyavrata was infatuated by lusty desires, and that is how King Agnidhara was born. So accordingly, his desires are also determined. But when somebody comes in contact with devotees, there is there is no precondition as to what kind of birth, on what basis one was born, and in what kula or background he is born. But when somebody comes in contact with the devotee, exalted devotees, then they immediately take that devotional service. They understand, they learn, and the devotional service is transferred from the pure devotee's heart to the heart of the common person. So that is why, yeah. So it doesn't matter. But however, generally the trend is that during the Garbhadana Sanskar. So if properly not done, then the child born is of that kind of mentality in which they united, father and mother united. So here what we see, but what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that these are all those who wants to go to respective loka, they worship those kind of demigods, and those who want to go to Pitruloka, they worship Pitruloka, they worship their forefathers. So in Pitruloka, basically there are around for about 3 generations. For about 3 generations, they stay in the Pitruloka, and as long as Pinda is given, as long as the Shraddha offering, the offering that is given to Lord Vishnu, when it is given as a prasada to the Petrus, that is when, as long as that is given, they stay in Pitruloka. So, when we say Kshine Punye Mrityulokam Vishanti, all high planetary systems are based on this principle, that as long as somebody has the piety, he can stay there, and after that one has to fall down. And he is not just fall down, he doesn't fall down, he is removed from that place. For example, if we book a very costly, we go to a very costly place, say somebody goes on a very big trip, or some sightseeing, or they stay in a big hotel. Okay, so they can enjoy that lavish lifestyle for few days, as long as they have money, as long as they are ready to pay, as long as they have money, they can go on paying the rent, and they will be served. And the same people who were cleaning the room, who were bringing them dishes, they themselves will throw this person out once they have exhausted all the money. So they will not be allowed to stay in that lavish place where they were enjoying. So similarly, the higher planetary systems also, as long as they have the piety, they can remain so. But there is no guarantee. But for how long? Only for 3 generations someone will feed them. In 6 months of human calculation, Uttarayana is their daytime, and in the Dakshinayana it is night for them. So that is 1 year is kind of 1 day for them. So as long as the next generation is offering them the Vishnu Prasad, they can be there. Okay, so yes, so that is 1 day. And it is said that they eat 1 time in the entire day. In higher planetary systems, they eat only 1 time, whereas in human it is said they should eat 2 times. So on that basis, so if you see the Shraddha ceremony is done once in a year. So, and that too, if you see, it is not any other prasad, it is Vishnu Prasad. Only Vishnu Prasad is given as a offering to the Supreme Lord. to the Pitrus. So as long as they receive, they are good. But for how long one will give Vishnu Prasad for? So they themselves should do the austerities. They themselves should have the consciousness of worshipping the Supreme Lord. Unless they have that and they keep worshipping demigods, this temporary position is always going to be there. So they will be transferred from one planetary system to another, from there to there, from one yoni to another yoni. This will keep on going unless the jiva himself takes up to the devotional service. So by the system, according to the system, they should be fed Vishnu Prasad. But still, if you see, it is done as a ritual. Because it is said in the Shastras, they are offered Vishnu Prasad. But unless they do give up this ritualistic mentality and take up the consciousness, 100% Krishna consciousness, they still have to rely on somebody else. And if they are good enough to give the prasad, it's fine. Otherwise, it is going to be difficult. And so one should take up the Krishna consciousness by themselves instead of depending on the anybody else. So I was once asked one of our senior devotees, like during the Corona period, there was not proper karma and all being done. They were those who passed away at that time. They were not treated properly. They were just disposed of in a sense, we should say. So I asked one of our senior devotees. Prabhuji was mentioning that it is rather depend on these activities to be done later once a person passes away. It is good to, that is only a bonus. If somebody gets a prasad after passing away, that is only a bonus. But while Jiteji, when the person is still living, he himself had a chance to perform the Krishna consciousness. If one misses that, all this will make a lot of sense. It will become very important. And if it doesn't happen because of reasons like Corona, then it is very, very unfortunate. So better to follow while a person is alive, he better follows the Krishna consciousness seriously, and he changes his material consciousness to God consciousness. So that way his position is also secured, and there is no debt. He is not usually when a person is living by the society, in the sense, if he is a product of the society, say every person is a product of a society. He is learning from somebody. He is, there are lots of favors that he has to take from somebody. So it is like a lot of bondage. He is indebted to so many people. So many people. But when one takes to Krishna consciousness, he is not indebted to anybody. So gato mukundam parihritya kartram. So there is a shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.41. It says, Devarshi bhutapta nrinam pitrinam na kinkaro naya mrani cha rajan sarvatmaya sharanam sharanyam gato mukundam parihritya kartam. So the translation goes like this. Prabhupada mentions, O king, one who has given up all material duties and has taken full shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, who offers shelter to all, is not indebted to the demigods, great sages, ordinary living beings, relatives, friends, mankind, or even one's forefathers who passed away. Since all such classes of living entities are part and parcel of Supreme Lord, one who has surrendered to the Lord's service has no need to serve such persons separately. So only an intelligent person will take to the devotional service. Otherwise, one is bound by so many, indebted to so many people. Even it is said, like friends, relatives, even the cattle, even servants from whom one takes service, all for demigods, from demigods to even the smallest of the cattle. If somebody is say going by a say Ghoda Gadi, so that horse, we are taking some service. So there is some kind of people are indebted to all the people. So, but one who takes to Mukunda's lotus feet, then he is not indebted to anything. So he's liberated from that bondage. So Manasaha Rajahamsaha in Mukundamala Stotram, there is a verse where it is mentioned that this one who takes to the lotus feet, one who takes to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, he is liberated from these clutches. So, and further, Kulasekar Alvar says that so because I will not be able to chant your name later, I will let me chant now itself. So in that verse it is mentioned. So we can see how one is indebted to so many people. And another thing is, so maybe it was easy for see, we have also seen in previous classes that Prachina Barhi was also doing lots of pious activities, lots of yajna. But at some point, there was Narad Muni could approach, and he was also approachable. He was ready to listen from Narad Muni and understand the importance of devotional service. So the point is, there is an opportunity, lot of opportunity in the previous ages. There was a lot of opportunity for getting in association with the devotees and understand the subject matter and further pursue on that. But today it is very difficult. In the sense the opportunity is less, but only because of Srila Prabhupada and the devotees, now this opportunity is available. But otherwise, if you see, it is very difficult. And moreover, it was possible for those people from the previous ages to do lots of pious activities, and they were able to strictly do that and follow that and reach their goal. Like Maharaja Agnidhara, he was able to follow. He was able to. He was a Kshatriya. He was following all the rules. But only thing is that his objective was different and object of worship was different. So, but still he could follow that, pursue it, and reach a higher planetary system. But of course, there is a. It is not a permanent position. It is a compromise position. He did not understand the Vaikuntha and he could not understand what the position of Vaikuntha. He could not understand the position of Lord's lotus feet, but still he ended up in a higher planetary system. But in Kali Yuga, performing a pious activity is not at all possible. It is very difficult. Only option left with in the Kali Yuga is to do bhakti, which is easy, and that is also possible because of the pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada. Unless they would have come and told people about the glories of bhakti, it was very difficult. Even if the glories of bhakti are told, if he is not a pure devotee, or it would not have been easy to take it up. So it is only out of mercy these great souls wander all around the earth and give this opportunity for everyone. So so it is not easy to do pious activity and reach a proper higher planetary system in the Kali Yuga. There is no option but to take bhakti, because that is easy and possible to do, and it is doubted. It is tailor-made to the people of Kali Yuga. So Lord Chaitanya, out of his mercy, he gives the Hare Krishna mantra and asks everyone to chant, and he distributes it like a king would come out. He could bring all his treasure to the central market and he just distribute it without asking what is his eligibility. Like that, Mahaprabhu is distributing the Harinam. So in Kali Yuga, the only option is to take to bhakti. Pious activity and trying to reach a higher planetary system all will not work out, because unless if somebody doesn't go to a higher planetary system, he doesn't. There is no comfort. There is no enjoyment. If one is trying to enjoy and have a comfortable life, he has to do these pious activities and reach at least maintain a pious birth and take birth as a human being. That is not possible in Kali Yuga, because the situation is not very conducive for all that. Whatever we do will result in some kind of sin, and it will only degrade. We will only end up in lower planetary system and lower yonis. So there is a lot of chance for fall down if we compromise for anything else other than the devotional service and devotional service. Because this is devotional service is more practical for Kali Yuga, and that is what everyone should take up. So but a lot of people in Kali Yuga, they are more work oriented. They are more work oriented. They think they should work their entire life and spend a lot of time working and be creative, do something good for the family, for society, and for the nation. That kind of all kind of compromised objectives they have, and they think that is their top, because they don't know what is in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam in first place doesn't even talk about any dharma less than the devotional service. Dharma prochita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. So Bhagavatam in first place itself, it is breaking this myth. The first shloka, second shloka itself, Bhagavatam is that this is not the subject matter of Bhagavatam is not about any of the compromised dharmas. Okay, it is only devotional service that this entire Bhagavatam is going to talk about, and that is why Narad Muni also chastises Vyasadeva for having written something less than the devotional service. So for those who are thinking in Kali Yuga that my work is everything, and my doing something good for the society, for my own people is good, they should understand that it is all temporary, and what is permanent is only the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, and be in that bliss. So for that, one should read Bhagavatam, and reading Bhagavatam immediately Sadyo Hridaya Avaruddhyate Kritipi Sushrusuvikshakshanath. So immediately that devotional mentality, devotional consciousness is transferred when one reads Bhagavatam. In Bhagavad Gita also it is mentioned Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Susukam Kartumavyam. It is immediate Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. It is a direct devotional service. There is nothing ghuma firake, in a roundabout way of worshipping Lord. No, direct devotional service to serve the Supreme Lord in his personal form, like to serve him as one of his servants, to serve him as one of his friends, to serve him as Vatsalya Rasa or in Madhurya Rasa. In one of these rasas, one can directly serve the Supreme Lord. In Shantras also. So that is serving the Lord in a straight way, in direct way. No not worshipping his energies, but worshipping the Lord himself, of whose these energies are just a manifestation. So so generally, yogis, Gyanis, they all worship the Lord in a roundabout way. In several births, one Gyani understands the Lord's position as it is. So, and for those who have taken devotional service, they have surpassed all those levels, and they have reached and they have understood, maybe not by themselves, but by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the Acharya and Guru Maharaj. They understand that this devotional service is very, very auspicious, very, very rare, not only auspicious, very rare. Auspicious also, pavitram pavitro mangalam mangalebhyopi pavitram pavitro, like that. It is mentioned in Kevalastakam. So, it is the most sublime of the sublime, most sublime. So one should take to devotional service. In Kali Yuga, there is no other method but just to take to devotional service, and that is the most easiest and the fulfilling one. Fulfilling anyway, all the time that is fulfilling, but it is the most practical way for Kali Yuga. So, of course, it is very, very, it is surprising that Maharaja Agnidhara wanted to reach Pitruloka. But however, but that is the fact. And I was earlier mentioning that there is a chance for the people of previous ages to come to do more pious activities also, but they had that steadfastness to understand the importance of devotional service when they happen to come in contact with the devotees and follow devotional service also from there on. But here in Kali Yuga, it is a little, if we miss out a chance, it is very rare. So one should take to devotional service, and that is the best thing. And so generally, those who opt for any other higher planets instead of the permanent residents of Vaikuntha, they everyone looks for some happiness. So Vidura, in his conversation with Maitreya Muni, says, "Sukhaya karmani karoti logo." So everyone works for some happiness. Everyone works for some kind of happiness. But what happens? Natai sukham va anyaduparam va. Natai sukham va. Nataihi sukham va. They don't get happiness. Anyad uparam va. Uparam means that tripti. Uparam means satiation. Okay, I'm done. I've had enough. I'm done. That kind of mentality also doesn't come. They keep on doing the same thing. Vinde the bhuyas tadeva dukkham. But on the other hand, what actually happens is, vindes the dukkham. They undergo a lot of dukkha. They are thinking they will get happiness, and for that they work. But what happens is they don't get happiness. Neither they get happiness nor they are satisfied or satiated. But instead, what happens is they are always frustrated. Like Prahlad Maharaj explains, like chewing the chewed. They go on doing the same kind of activity to get some kind of happiness. All these attempts to go to higher planetary systems, Pitruloka, all those lokas, it's an attempt to get happiness only, right? It is that fulfillment that they are trying to get, which is not available elsewhere, but only available when one becomes a devotee. He becomes a santushta. He becomes shanta. His He is not atrupta. He is always trupta once he reaches the lotus feet of the Lord. Till that time, that wandering goes on and on and on. So, everybody sing for some happiness. So, chewing the chew, yes. So, everyone does the same thing in the material world. He tries to extract some kind of, happiness from whatever he has already taken. He has lived his life, he has understood everything, but still, because he doesn't have an alternative, he tries to get happiness from the same thing, whatever is available from the material world itself. He doesn't know yet. He doesn't know yet there is a Vaikuntha. There is a devotional service from where there is a constant bliss. The bliss is like several times more than even the Brahma Saukya. Even than the Brahma Saukya. So the material pleasure is very less. It is like very, very what you call for a kshana bangura, they say. It is like for a moment. But Brahma Saukyam is far, far beyond the happiness that one derives in the material world. But Brahma Saukyam is much more. But Brahma Saukyam is not even a drop in front of the devotional service. So, unless a person knows that this kind of devotional service is there, this kind of devotional happiness is there, he keeps on chewing the chew. He keeps chewing the same thing. And for example, they look for milestones. Okay. Now, what is next? One more marriage is coming. Okay, I will go there, mingle with my relatives, say hi, hello. I will show off my achievements. With some, I'm good. With some, I'm not good. There is all this will happen. But they look for those kind of happiness, tuchha, which is very tuchha. They go for this kind of momentary pleasures. They go there, talk, enjoy a little bit, they eat. Once that is all done and dusted, 2 days later, they keep talking the same thing. And then after that, something will go. Then they will look for next thing. What is next? In whose house there is a marriage? What other occasion? Where I can go and socialize, enjoy a little bit. And of course, they undergo all the turbulences. They undergo the health problem, this problem, uncomfortable situation. All this they undergo, but still they look for next venue. What is the next occasion where we go and at least went out, have some fun. But they don't know there is another world. They don't know that there is a association of devotees where there is always happiness. There is always problems will be there. Everyone will have their own personal issues, but still, since they are all connected through the Lord, Supreme Lord and Acharyas, they're all focused. Their thoughts are not bahushakha. They are all focused. So they're all focused. They derive pleasure from that, and that pleasure is not a momentary pleasure. It is ever increasing. Ever increasing. Bhavam, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Shikshashtakam. So every moment, this pleasure of serving the Supreme Lord only increases. And what is the limit see, it is like already it's like an ocean, but still that ocean also increases. The pleasure, the ocean, to reach the level of ocean of happiness itself is a big, right? But still, even if one has achieved the spiritual happiness, which is comparable to that of an ocean, even that also can increase further. So there is no limitation. There is no limitation as to how one can be in bliss in spiritual activities, in spiritual in spirituality. Whereas that on one side, on the other side, the material sukha is only a image of that. It is mentioned that urdhvamulam adhashakam, right? So the actual happiness is there, but what people see in the material world is a um, what do you call it? It's a reflection. It is a reflection of that happiness, and it's not full reflection. It is just a fraction. Huh? It is only a fraction. Like um, imitation. It is just an imitation. If one has to taste the real mango, then he will know that the imitation mango is not correct, good. If one has not tasted the real mango, he will think this imitation mango is everything, right? So it is just an imitation mango, imitation thing. Whereas the actual Saukya is on the other side, in the spiritual world. So for that, there are some conditions. One has to follow the devotee association. One has to follow acharyas. One has to follow the Yuga Dharma of chanting the holy names of the Supreme Lord. These are all certain simple ways which they've given for Kali Yuga. Unless one follows that, it is very difficult to realize all this. So once somehow with some difficulty he is able to pursue that, then he at least gets a taste, at least gets a footing. Yes, this is what I want to do. This maybe he is not understood fully, but still he gets a footing. He understands. He wants to do more and more and more. That way, um, his association, his sadhana, and his spiritual activities increases. Then he understands uh, the depth of it. Otherwise, from outside, people won't know. They have to take some effort. First step they have to take. Then they will understand. So devotees are lucky that Srila Prabhupada has gone from traveled around the whole world and given the Krishna consciousness to everyone. So at times we will realize these points, right? Definitely everyone realizes these points. So we can show enough gratitude to Srila Prabhupada by following whatever his instructions are. And this sense of gratitude in itself is a devotional service. So that will give a strong footholding, and one can go further. And also, if given an option, akamo sarva kamo va moksha kamo udaratihi, right? So it is yes. I forget shlokas, so I have noted down here. Akamo sarva kamo va moksha kamo udaratihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusha param. So whether one has lots of desires or no desires, so it is suggested that one should take to focused bhakti, focused devotional service. So see, not having having desires is not a problem, but having this lusty mentality, enjoying mentality is the problem. So udaradhihi means with broader intelligence. One who desires mokshakam udaradhihi, one who desires liberation with broader intelligence, with great force. So tivrena means great force. Udaradhihi means with broader intelligence. Mokshakamaha, one who desires liberation. All are seeking. One is seeking material desire, one who is not seeking material desire, one who is seeking liberation. But it is suggested that they be broader, their udarati, they be of broader intelligence. Don't give up this enjoying mentality, but you fulfill your desires. Fulfill your desires, but give up this enjoying mentality. That is the point. And how that is possible? By doing bhakti yoga. Once slowly one gets into asking the Lord for everything, asking the Lord for everything, or he asks for liberation also, if he is going to the Lord for asking these things, slowly his lower nature is converted into a higher nature. He becomes fixed in Lord rather than his desires. So rather than his desires, not having a sense of I'm not attached to anything is also kind of desire. So that kind of desire is also um, uh, given up when one takes to the Supreme Lord. So it is suggested one takes to the Supreme Lord for all his nature, whatever be his basic nature, whether he is desiring, not desiring, mokshakami. So it's better that he takes to the Supreme Lord, and that way he will succeed. And if given this option, if somebody is asking for a material desire, and somebody is at the same time, he can be given a spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness, then Lord Chaitanya says, I am not, why will I give you Visha? Why will he give you the poison? What I will give? Amrita. I will give the Amrita. But the devotee should be ready to understand the value and take it. So until he understands, he will keep on looking for a lower nature, things of lower nature. So, but if he is matured enough to take the suggestion of the Supreme Lord or Acharyas or his devotees, then he will give up his lower mentality and take Amrita instead of the poison. So, a material desires is compared to poison, and spiritual desires is compared to rather say spiritual desires, the desire to devotional service, to desire to serve is considered as a Amrita. So, so all this understanding, all this all this knowledge, all this association, this is all because of Srila Prabhupada. So it is said that these pure devotees, they travel all over the world to give this knowledge to everyone. And those who are those who have not taken to Krishna consciousness, vimukhaha, those who have turned their faces away from the Lord, and for who are adharma shilasya, once those who are on the path of adharma, and ones who are troubled, for those people, those who don't know, why somebody is taking to lower nature, because they don't know about the higher nature. To give that higher nature, to give that higher understanding, to give the knowledge of the Lord, to give the devotional service to everyone, these philanthropic souls, great acharyas, they travel around entire world. They give them out of their own mercy, and that is there is no qualification on of anybody but the mercy of the acharyas who are giving it. And yes, so I think with that I will close this session. Thank you for the opportunity. Please forgive me if I have made some mistake. Hare Krishna. Prantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for talking so much about the glorification of the devotional service, especially in this Kali Yuga. And also, like you have mentioned, the importance, or like Akshine Punyam, that one. So as long as you have Punya, you have given the nice example of like staying in the hotel, as long as you have money. So with that, we can clearly understand. And also, like you have talked about like how our ancestors should be fed the Vishnu Prasada. It's not just like doing it as a ritual, like we have to feed the Vishnu Prasada. And also, like one question that you asked during Corona, like many people were not offered the like rituals at the end, karma. But like you said, like the Prabhu's answer, it was very nice. Why to depend on all these things? So whatever others do, it's kind of a bonus. But we should, when we are alive, we should practice the Krishna consciousness very sincerely. Like it is takeaway for me at least. And you mentioned that even we are going to the aspiring to go to the higher planets is only for the happiness, and that happiness or whatever, even Brahma Sukha, you said it is nothing in front of the uh, satisfaction that we get while performing the devotional service. And you have nicely used the word chewing the chewed, and it was very nice, bro. And he said that like everybody is looking for the satisfaction, but nobody gets the satisfaction because nobody is performing. So only way to get the satisfaction is to render the devotional service to the lotus feet of Krishna. And you said like we have to be very grateful for our Paramaguru, Srila Prabhupada, and our Acharyas and Guru. And he also mentioned Kama Sarva Kamava. So everyone, whether one has the knowledge, one has the desires or not, they should worship the Supreme Personal of Krishna. And why one takes lower nature, you said it is because of they don't have knowledge in the higher nature, and it is because of their ignorance. Very nicely, you have highlighted the devotional service, Prabhuji. It is very essential these days. And also, like other devotees are already admitted, so they can unmute and ask any questions or clarifications. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you for the wonderful explanation. I think few things I didn't know. So, I mean, in terms of what you said about 3 generations, how it goes, in terms of how long they stay. Prabhu, one question on that. Like as a devotee, okay, now we're talking about as a devotee when you're doing. Now, like this is only going to prolong their stay in the Pitrus, let's say, by doing this particular, Shraddha ceremony. So should we engage in that, or what? What should be the role of a devotee for their forefathers and fathers?
So yes, Prabhu. Actually, this question was raised, and Prabhuji was mentioning that there is no absolutely there is not needed, but out of family obligation, if someone has to do, so we can still do it. Yes, that was the main answer, Prabhu. But otherwise, for those who are in the devotional service, already it is all taken care of. Like when we do Shraddha only for ancestors, but what about the other jivas that from where we have taken help? So that we are not anyway doing. So, but out of obligation, if there is a family practice like that, it can be done. That's what I heard, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Pranams. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhu, I have some confusion about Pitraloka. Pitraloka, you said pious people go, but I read it is present near the hellish planets, Prabhu. So it's little confusing. And I want to know who are the inhabitants of Pitraloka? Only from Earth they are going, or how, Prabhu?
So yes, Mataji, I also don't know too much about it, but whatever I know, I'll try to tell. What I heard is, what you said is it is near the hellish planets. That is also what I heard. Another point, what I heard is half of the moon planet. Half of the moon planet is Devatas, half of the moon planet is Pitras. That's what I heard. And another, I will also mention, there is a very nice video and class by His Grace Sanatana Dharma Prabhu. You can watch this on the same exact shloka. Please, I would request that please watch more. He has explained very nicely so many things. So in that, Prabhuji mentioned that Brahmanas, when they do pious activities, they are promoted to the Swargaloka, and Kshatriyas, they are promoted to Pitralokas. And Vaishyas, they go to other sub demigods like Kinnaras, and Vidyadharas, Charanas, like that. And when Shudras, when they do their duty properly, based on their consciousness, they will become, get to the other three Varnas, one of the other three Varnas. So that's what I heard, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavat pranams.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat pranams. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhu.
Hare-
Prabhu, the same question what Mataji raised. I also have the doubt that non-devotees, when they leave their body, will they go directly to hell, depending on their whatever activities that they will go to hell, or they have to go to Pitruloka? What is the exact
Yes,
way,
Mataji.
Prabhu?
So, see,
Their
see,
destination?
you can clarify more.
Every jiva after leaving the body, other than devotees.
Yes, Mataji. You can clarify more, and I will request other devotees also to please comment. But from my understanding, see, in the Kali Yuga, when we talk about Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to follow the pious activities. Pious
Hare
activities
Krishna.
means, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu, you can go ahead.
So in the Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to do the pious activities. Very, very difficult, because the circumstances are not very, very conducive for that. And all whatever karma kandi activity mostly mentioned in Bhagavatam, if you look at the circumstances in which these things are happening, they were all already following properly Varnashrama. Okay. And it was easy for them to follow, and it was easy for them to reach a particular destination. That is why I was mentioning, in those previous ages, it was easy to follow the Varnashrama and follow and reach a particular destination, because they were strict, they were properly following. But in Kali Yuga, there is no such Varnashrama system now. It is very difficult. So it is very difficult to predict where the ancestors might have actually gone. Okay, because there is a lot of opportunity in Kali Yuga to do sin, right? So definitely, it's very difficult to estimate where one might have gone. But the outline what I can say is, it's like very difficult to follow Varnashrama, because of not following that Varnashrama, reaching higher planetary system. It is very difficult to understand where one Pitru might have gone. And whereas on the other hand, if somebody has come in contact with devotional service, it is easy to follow, and it is also the topmost. Okay, so that is the advantage. So we have no other option but to follow the devotional service in Kali Yuga. Sorry, Mataji, I might not have answered you exactly, but I would please request that you check with others also. For whatever I can understand, I have tried to explain.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Relation devotees, any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranams.
Thank you, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for the nice class. So wonderful it was.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to mention this Mataji's question. No, she was talking about where the ancestors will go. If we see the shlokas in Bhagavad Gita, it says like people who worship their ancestors go to the abode of the ancestors, and then people who worship ghosts and spirits, they go to that abode of those beings. So it's not necessary that all the ancestors will end up at Pitru. It would depend on to what extent that individual is attached to his or her ancestors, and thereby they land up there. That's my understanding. I thought.
Yes, Prabhu. Nobody is desirious of worshipping anybody today. In today's time, they're all worshipping their office. They are worshipping their money. Whatever comes, enjoy, and done.
Yes.
And live like an animal. That is mostly what is happening. So that is why it is difficult to tell where they might have actually gone.
That's true, Prabhu. I agree to that. And also, worship means not exactly worship. Some of them have a lot of regard for the ancestors. They'll say, I am, like say, what I am today is basically because of my forefathers. That kind of consciousness or that
Right.
type of a view, which they carry even up to their deathbed, then probably they'll end up in the.
Yes, Prabhu. That some of them may have that kind of thought
Yeah.
very, very strongly. Yes, definitely.
Yes. So they will end up there. I think that
Yes.
might answer Mataji's question to a
In-
little more extent. I thought that's all.
Some previous generations also, they had a very high regard for their ancestors. Definitely, that is. But nowadays, not much consideration for their own parents, and that is also
True. The other thing is also true. Very true.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
So thank you so much,
Prabhu,
Prabhu.
Prabhu, those people who don't have any regard for the ancestors, when they leave the body, they go to the hellish planets directly, no, Prabhu? They don't have any thing about the consciousness or about this devotional consciousness or regarding the ancestors. Those people, when they leave the body, they will go directly to hell, or what is the destination?
No, definitely there is some kind of consciousness. See, they are associating, right? They are associating with so many people, right? Based on their consciousness, they will end up Mataji.
Okay. Thank you.
So that is why for those people, preaching is very important, and they are told about the Lord. First place, you see, here is the Supreme Lord, Supreme Father. When they know about it, then I met one person in Kanakpura when we were going for book distribution. He's a small young boy. I mean, he had a very tough time. He was living in so many places. He had in some room with somebody. He was basically he did not know who are his parents. So it was very moving. It was very heart wrenching, I should say, to see a person like he did not know about who his parents are. No care. He's working here. He's with some friends. So like that, he was having a lot of trouble. So yes. So when they come in contact with devotees, they will be definitely a lot benefited.
Okay, Prabhuji. I think there will, due to time constraint, we can end the class here, Prabhuji, with Vaishnava Pranama. Vancha Kalpatarubhya.
Kripa Sindhubhyo Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Ananta Koti